Hey y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but if you are watching this and you're in the replay game, I just want to say what's up, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by my live, Becoming King Lexus. I appreciate you being here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and pop myself on the screen real quick so I can tell you, so you can see me say thank you, honey. But I don't think I really want to be on camera tonight. Hey y'all. Thank you for stopping by my live. Oh yeah, I got my nails done, y'all. I love them. It's been a minute since I got my nails done, but I just wanted to come on camera and say hello and thank you to everybody that's stopping by my live. Whether you here now or in the replay gang. Hey Miss T, how you doing, girl? How you doing, girl? How you been? Oh my God, y'all, this is. Have you ever felt like you just really wanted to do something? You felt like you needed to do it, but you was like scared to do it. Like I really, really don't know how to start it, so I'm gonna just start talking, right? And I guess when I retitle this probably will be titled maybe to all young mothers or a letter to my sons or something like that, right? I'm glad you've been good. I've been good. I'm lying. Why would I tell a lie like that? I'm doing. Shoot, I woke up this morning, man, so I'm doing good. But anyway, so listen, I'm gonna just start talking until I am comfortable, you know what I'm saying, enough to look at comments and really, really engage, right? Yes, girl, yes, girl. And um, it's like I wanna talk about it. And when I originally made my channel, that's what my channel was supposed to be about, right? Was me being like authentic and being transparent about my life. And somehow, some kind of way, it got swooped up into something else and into me talking about other celebrities and stuff like that. And to be honest with y'all, I never wanted to do that. Like, I'm probably not going to be talking about Krishan no more. I'm not going to be talking about other like gossip, drama, celebrities, or whatever, because I got enough of it in my own life. And I originally started this channel to vent. I originally started this channel to talk to people and speak on things that the average person is like afraid to speak on or feel shame to speak on and shit like that, right? So when I was seeing, like, for the last couple of days, I've been saying that I wanted to go live, but then something will happen to throw my energy off, and it'll make me like not go live. You know what I mean? Like, or I will want to talk about something, but I'll just like what I'm going to talk about today, for example, what I'm going to talk about tonight. I've been wanting to talk about this, and I feel like God been telling me to talk about it, but I worry about what other people going to think around me and what other people are going to do or say, um versus telling my truth. And I feel like in a way that's putting them above God, because that's me being afraid of what they'll say and what they'll do when they are not, you know, the person that's, or the thing that's carrying me in this life, in this world. They're not, I don't pray to them, I pray to God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why worry about what other people gonna say? Why worry about what other people gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna be on camera, but I'm gonna just start off like this so that I can start talking. And this is like a series that I feel like I'm gonna start. I gotta think of a name for it. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet. Um, but it is a series that I'm gonna start and that I'm not gonna let nothing stop me from doing, or nobody. Because one of the main reasons why I want to talk about this is because if anything happened to me today or tomorrow or next month, next year, any time, right? If I don't open my eyes in the morning, however, right, my story will be to my children, right? My story to my children and my grandchildren will be left up to family members that may like me or may not like me. You know what I mean? That may be honest and may not be honest. And I don't feel comfortable with that. Like if anything ever happened to me, I want my kids to know the absolute truth, the facts of everything. And let me tell you why I say that. So when I was 17, I got pregnant with my oldest son, right? And that was hard. Me and his dad was young, and I spoke about this on a podcast before on Auntie Sugar podcast, right? And I was talking about how me and his dad was young and everything, and because of what we had went through in our lives and in our families, you know what I mean, violations that have happened to me, you know what I'm saying, things that was not right that happened to us when we were younger. We wanted to have a family. We wanted to make a family because we wanted to have something that we felt like we should have had, right? But that we never had. But the dumb part about it all was that we was kids. We was 17 years old, and we didn't we didn't we did realize it, but we thought that the jobs that we had was going to be able to sustain us and take care of us, and it didn't go like that, of course, because we was children. And when I say that, because I was living with my son and dad when we were 17 when I did get pregnant, right? But after I had my son and life started happening, and you know, his dad wasn't what I thought, you know what I'm saying, or who I thought he would be in that time. Things just was not going right. It was just so much going wrong. And I was so afraid to be I was so afraid to ruin him. You know what I mean? I was so afraid to mess his life up by making mistakes. I was so scared of failing as a mother, right? And it was certain things like that my family would do or say that would give me like a thought of maybe you just like don't need to get help with him. Maybe you don't need to ask nobody to help you with him because, you know, of certain signs that I got, right? But when his dad started letting me down, and I'll never forget, he had a seizure. My son, he had a seizure when he was 1. I had let him go to his dad's house to visit his dad because we had broken up, and he was saying he wanted to see his son. He wanted to see his son. So I let him go to his dad's house, and his dad was outside, and the baby, my son, was in the house with his grandmother, and he got into her medication for her sugar tablet or something like that. And he ended up having a seizure the next morning because his sugar dropped lower and lower throughout the night, right? And I found out that they knew he had the tablet in his mouth, but they got it out of his mouth. And the reason why he still had a seizure was because it was dissolving in his mouth. He had it in his mouth for a minute, so he was swallowing the medicine because it was dissolving in his mouth, right? So when that happened, I got really scared. Like I got really scared. He almost lost him. You know what I mean? And I needed my family's help. You know, and my word to all young mothers, if you that happen to ever see this video, or if you know somebody that is, you know what I'm saying, a young mother that might be what I'm about to describe to y'all, show them this video, send them this video, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the worst thing that I ever did was let my family help me with my kids. With not even my kids, with my oldest son. My youngest son, Cash, if he not with me, he at his dad's house. And when he go to his dad's house, he not with his daddy mama or his daddy friend. He with his dad. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't say both of them because I was a little bit older when I had Cameron. So, you know, I think that because I was older and more mature, I was able to handle things better. I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? So, but with RJ, I needed help, and I had to humble myself because when I got pregnant with him, my certain family members wanted me to have a smortion. I can't say that word, but they wanted me to have a smortion, and I didn't want to have that, and his dad definitely didn't want me to have that. And I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad that I had him. I'm so glad that I had him. And the only thing that I want to say though is that God gave you a child. He ported the child through in this world through you for a reason. And I truly, strongly believe that now. Like I always did believe that, but I understand now more that when God gives you a child and your child comes in this world through you really don't need outside help. It's all within you. And I didn't know that until I had cash, right? I'm not gonna cry on here, so I'm gonna go off that camera again. But I didn't know that until I had cash. And I'm sorry if like this video going kind of slow or you kind of confused about what I'm saying because I'm trying to get to something, but it's causing me to be very vulnerable right now. So if I'm taking too long, I'm sorry. Just bear with me for a second. My son just turned 14 years old. And because of the incident that happened when he was one, where I thought I almost lost him because he had a seizure, it would be times when I wasn't working. I had either, I don't remember how I stopped working the job that I was working, but I was 17. So I mean, it could be a number of ways, right? But regardless, what I'm saying is that when I wasn't working and I needed to lean on my family, I had some family that could help me. I had some family that was going through their own problems. I had some family that said, "Well, I told you you shouldn't have had them in the first place," and they would try to make things harder on me to almost like they want me to learn a lesson from it, or they wanted my baby to be more of a punishment to me than a blessing. Sometimes I feel like, right? And if anybody in my family sees this, I don't care if you're offended because it's my truth. I'm not gonna say nobody names. I'm not gonna put nobody in it. You're gonna put yourself in it. If you hey sis, if you respond to this, you put yourself in it. Because I'm not telling nobody names or nothing like that. But I am gonna speak my truth. I am. I'm tired of not doing it. I'm tired of not doing it. I'm not doing that no more. I created my channel for me, not for nobody else. So back to what I was saying is like everybody not genuine. That's why the baby came through you and not the person who might be helping you or might be saying they're gonna help you, right? I had a family member that was able to help me with my child that wasn't as busy, as my mom. My mom was in her 30s at the time. My mom was doing, I'm saying, she was working from sun up to sun down. She had a lot going on. I'm not saying she didn't help me at all, but she wasn't the person that helped me the most. You know what I mean? Like I got offered a job when I was like 18, when I was just now realizing that my son, dad, and I have grown apart because we want different things in life. I want better for my son. I don't want to raise my son in the hood. You know what I mean? His dad didn't see things as that way at the time. I'm not saying he feel that way now. God bless him. But at that particular time, I had to let him go. I needed to break up with him, and I needed to get my life together. So on my journey of doing that, I ended up getting a job, a sales job. I was doing great at that job. I was able to, take care of myself, take care of my son, even throw my mama some money every now and then. I was able to look out for my sister. And I was so happy about it that I would even bring my checks or my check stubs to my grandma or my mom or my family and be like, look what I made in a week. Because in sales you have no cap. So when I started making $1,000 a week, $2,000, $3,000 a week, oh my God, I could not believe it. You know what I mean? Like life got so much easier for me because I had the financial stability that I needed. and I became like a top rep in the company, and they offered me a promotion, but the promotion was in Missouri. I'm in Georgia at the time. The promotion was in Missouri. And the family member that wanted to help me, because I didn't ask for it originally, they would just step in and help me. And they was like, you need this experience. You need to go and get this promotion. I got baby boy for you. You need this experience. And when you get settled, I'll bring him up there to you. So I was like, okay, bet. And I took the promotion, and I went and I moved up there. And I didn't realize though that in a sales job, you're gonna be moving around a lot. Like I thought that Missouri was gonna be my last stop, but it wasn't. It was only my first stop. After I moved up there, I ended up having to move to Charlotte 4 months later, right? I ended up having to move to Charlotte 4 months later. So it was like every time I would get settled and I would be talking about it at work, like how I'm about to give my son and everything like that. Every time I would get settled, I had to move. And so 1 month turned into 1 year. 1 year turned into 2 years. And I'm not saying that I went this entire time where I was up there. I would come home 2, 3, 4 times a month, take my son shopping, take him to the mall, take him to Chuck E. Cheese, celebrate like it's his birthday every time I come home to visit, because I was trying to compensate with money for my absence. I wanted to make money, enough money to where it was like he wasn't lacking on nothing, where it was like he wasn't missing his dad and he wasn't missing me. What I learned from that is at that time, I feel like my mistake was not realizing that he just needed me and just wanted me. You know what I mean? At that time, he didn't care about nice clothes, nice things, and all of these things that I felt like I needed to give him. At that time, he just needed and wanted me, his mother. But like I said, I was afraid that I was messing up. You know what I mean? I was afraid to ruin his life, because to this very day, in this very moment that I'm speaking to y'all right now, I still got things in my past as a child that I got to deal with. To this very second that I'm talking to y'all right now, it's still things that happened to me as a child that I have not healed from yet. And I didn't want to put that on my baby. I wanted to give him a better life. I wanted him to have the best, right? And with the person who was helping me, they were a very controlling spirit. They have what I call a takeover spirit. When they come in, they come in to your life, and you might have an idea of something that you want to do. You might want to start a business or something, and you might go to them about starting a business. Next thing you know, they done bought the LLC for your business in their name. This is the type of spirit of person that I'm talking about. So at the time, I didn't know that though. I didn't know that. I didn't know what I know now. I didn't realize how much of a horrible mistake I was making. And I feel like with kids, with human beings, you can't make mistakes. Like you don't have time to make mistakes and learn lessons with their life, because their life hang in the balance of that. So, like I said, I was coming home every couple of months paying for things, and I would get signs like I would get little signs that, you know, this person just want to completely wash me out of their life. This person want to completely have, custody of them and all of that. I started getting those feelings. And when those situations would happen, like I said, if I want to take my son somewhere and they give me pushback and tell me he don't need to go or something like that, like we would get in arguments and stuff like that about my son. And I mean, I'm talking about heated arguments. So I started seeing it like this person is just trying to take over my child, and it's not right. And it hurt me. It made me feel bad, right? But I wanted what was best for him so bad, y'all, to where I said, fuck me. You know what I mean? I said, fuck me, fuck how I feel. I want my child to have stability. And this person, that's one thing I can say for sure is that he has stability. Whether I got it or not, he got what he need. Whether I got it or not, he's gonna be a happy kid and he not gonna know what no struggle is. Okay, he'll be with his grandparent. And I don't have to be specific about what grandparent, but it was a grandparent that was like telling me, let me help you with him. You know, you making your life hard, and you don't have to make your life hard. You can let me help you until you get yourself together. That was always the pep talk. Hey, let me help you so you can get yourself together. And it was like every time I would mention getting them back, or every time I would mention moving him to where I was going, they would give me reasons why I shouldn't do that, reasons why that's not a good idea. And I mean, not to be honest with you, it was one point in time when I got fed up with that shit. And I flew home. I bought 2 suitcases. I didn't tell nobody in my family, nobody at all, that I was coming to get my son. I made it seem like I was coming to visit. And on the day it was time for me to leave, I went to the house and brought the suitcases and I told my son, come on, pack your stuff. You coming with me. And the people thought that it was messed up that I did that. But the reason why I did that is because they was always giving me reasons of why I shouldn't get him. They was always giving me reasons and making it feel like I'm shortchanging his life and I'm hurting him if I don't let him stay with this person, because this person can provide for him and can do, provide better schools and private schools and things that I can't afford right now. And I'm just gonna say this. Now I see, God, I see that I should that if that was the case, if they could provide for my son a better life than I could, then God would have gave him to them. He would have came through them. He wouldn't have came through me. And I was young at the time, though, y'all. Like, for anybody who listens to this, I really need you to feel me on the fact that I was young and that I was afraid, bro. My life was so crazy as a kid, right? I had a parent that was on drugs, that was abusing my mama and us. So I just wanted it to be better. And I said to myself, if I gotta be in pain because I gotta know that I'm a mother and walk around this world knowing that I'm a mom, but not, doing what moms do on a daily basis, that shit hurt. And it was the ultimate pain. But I felt like I was making the ultimate sacrifice for the betterment of my child. Okay? That's what I really thought. And the time that I just came home and I took him, right? I was living in Dallas at the time. And we went back up there to Dallas. And I want to say we was there for about 3 months, right? And I found out that we had this big Airbnb where it was like 6 bedrooms in it, and the whole company, everybody who moved up there to Dallas, moved into that Airbnb. And I ended up finding out that my 2 managers that was above me was stealing money from me. Mind you, I at this time I think I'm 20. I turned 21 in that house. So I'm a hothead at the time. I didn't know how to think strategically. I didn't know how to play chess. I didn't know how to do that. And my managers was in their 40s, 30s, and 40s, right? So and from me, I blew up and snapped and was like, oh, I know I found out about y'all stealing from me, this, that, and the third. And what that did was it showed my hand too soon. So instead of me easing out of there with my son in a in a manner where I'm playing chess and nobody knew that I was gonna leave. What it did was made them aware that I was aware that they were stealing money from me, which made it harder for me. I had exactly enough money in my account to fly me and my son back to Georgia. And so that's what I did. That day that everything went down, I flew me and my son back to Georgia. I had to get us a cab there because I didn't know about Uber at the time. This was this was like 2012. And Uber probably was out, but I didn't know about it yet. So I flew us back home, right? And the grandparent that was helping me, I feel like they purposely, you know, didn't help me when I first got back. And I got back, I was looking for a job. I had to stay with family again. And that's a whole nother type of mental stress that I'll get into at another time, right? But that person said to me, if I'm going to help you with RJ, you can't just come and get him when you want to come get him. I explained to them that like every time I tried, you gave me, reasons to doubt myself, like that I couldn't do it. Basically, like, why would you make your son suffer? Because because you're not stable. Get stable first and then get your child. And that sounded logical to me at the time, right? And so when we came back, that person had made me have come to the agreement and understanding that if you're gonna help me with my child, then I can't just come and get him. Like it would have to be a situation where I was ready and we would agree on it that I would come and get him. Mind y'all, these things that I'm talking about did hurt me. It did hurt me. And if anybody that's been watching my channel, you know that I talk about surviving opioid addiction, surviving the opioid epidemic. This is around the time when those things started kicking in, when those things started happening to me in my life. And I'm starting to realize that I got a problem that I'm hiding still. Other people didn't know about it, but I did. So it was easier for me to agree to that because I was afraid to ruin their life. His life. So it was easier for me to agree to that then, right? Because I'd rather have an agreement than take my child through BS because I'm feeling like I need to numb my pain because I know I have a child in this world, but yet I'm not being the mother that I felt like I should be to them. I'm not being the mother that I wanted to be to them. And I feel like this was a lack of faith in God at the time, which I'm learning from because I'll get to that. I felt like at the time there was a lack of faith in God, right? So, so I agreed to that. My son, I ended up finding another sales job, um, and my son was going to a private school. And when I would come home, because this time I was out in Cali in Florida, and when I would come home, I would take my son to school every day. I would come home and visit him for like a week and a half, 2 weeks at a time, then go back. And like I said, I was thinking if I spent certain amounts of money that it would compensate for my absence. But I used to always pray to God to not let my child love change for me. I used to pray to God, please let, you know, my son could still love me the same way that he has loved me since he came out of me. I remember I used to cry and pray about that. And I used to talk to him on Sundays because Sundays was my only day off. If I would talk to him on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, then I wouldn't sell no accounts that day because I would be too depressed at the fact that my son not with me. So I had to make a pattern of talking to him on Sundays. So that way, if I cried Sunday night, then I could recoup and be better by Monday morning and I could go and write deals. Because if I'm not making thousands of dollars, then I feel like it's no point in me being away from home, away from my son. Well, while this is happening, my son is building a bond with the person. My son is building a bond with the person who is there every day. You feel me? He is. This person doesn't really necessarily like his dad. I'm keeping it all the way 1,000. I don't care. This person who didn't really like his dad, you know what I'm saying? So when his dad would come around and try to try to like see him or be with him, I ain't saying the man was perfect. Like I said, we was 17. His daddy was a high head. He had to grow too, but he did try to come see his child. And I would get phone calls when I was up there that they wouldn't let him see his child. He would call me and tell me they're not letting me see RJ. So when I would come home to visit, I would take RJ to see his daddy. And to be honest with y'all, I had to lie about that. I couldn't tell nobody that I was even doing that because they would make me believe that everything that I wanted for him was bad for him. And because I was so unhealed in this world, walking around trying to numb myself, I wanted to take all their advice. And I don't know why I believed in them more than I believed in myself. I don't know why. And I hate that, y'all. I hate that I did that, y'all. And maybe I'll go in more detail about that later, but I don't want to hold y'all all night. And I'm not trying to cry on here. But I promised myself that I was going to start this series tonight of me just really talking about me, talking about my life. And I told y'all that it was going to be some shit that I was going to say that was going to be embarrassing to me. That I was going to be, it's not the things that I made mistakes in. I'm going to talk about them just as much as I'm going to talk about the things that have happened to me. And that's just what it's going to be. But when I got pregnant with Cash, when I got pregnant with baby boy, the little brother, when I got pregnant with him, I always felt like my, my people was gonna try to like pit my kids against each other or something. I remember when I was pregnant, I would go pick up, my oldest son and take him to go buy him toys. Anytime I went and bought something for the baby, I remember I bought him a gift because I was going in labor, and I would read about it. And one of the ideas was that when you have the baby, buy your older child a gift that day so that they feel special too. And I did that, right? But around this time, the person who was helping me have started showing their true colors. The person who was helping me have felt like, you know, they started showing their true controlling ways and their true colors, man. They did. I would have to some places I would say I'm coming to get my child. It went from me being able to just come get my son and take him somewhere to me having to ask, can I get my son? Boy, man, that shit hurt it so bad when I had to ask, can I get my son, bro? And sometimes it was, nah, he got plans to do this. And then I hear from another family member that he ain't never gonna nowhere that day. You know what I'm saying? It was shit like that. So when I got pregnant with my younger son, I always knew that I wasn't gonna let this same thing happen because I'm kind of talking about it real fast right now, but this was a slow, painful agony that I went through. You know what I'm saying? This was a slow, painful agony because while I'm going through these things, y'all, and life is happening to me, and like I said, I had to beat, you know what I'm saying, dependence on pain medication. While these things are happening, now people are telling my son negative things about me. Now people are trying to train my son to not like me, to dislike me, all while gaslighting the fuck out of me and making me think that I was tripping and I was crazy because I would talk about it sometimes. When I called it out, they would gaslight me and make me think that I was tripping. We would never talk to RJ about you. We would never try to turn him against you. We would never try to tell him and all of that. They did everything they said they wasn't doing. They did everything. So when I had baby boy Cash, I said I'm not gonna let this happen twice. I'm not going to let them build no division between my kids. I'm not going to let this happen. So I did everything I could to not let that happen. And now, in this very moment in time right now, I live with both of my children, my oldest child and my younger child, right? And now, like, I want to say this started about a year ago. People in my family started saying that, oh, my oldest son is feeling like a way because he feel like I care about more about his little brother than I care about him. Y'all, when I tell y'all that shit right there makes me want to go and find somebody and leave them where the fuck I find them at. Because for one, if that is the case, it's because you wouldn't let me pick him up to take him places. You wouldn't let me do that. You always lied and say he had something to do. When we would come by to see him and everything, you would slowly but surely try to make him think that. And to this day, I talk to my son about it, y'all. To this day, my son is like, Mama, don't believe them. They just saying that to hurt your feelings. They just saying that to upset you. And I believe him. Because to this day, these certain family members that I could tell, they try to play the little game to pit them against each other. And I hate that. Because Cash love anime right now because his big brother do. He anything that he loves right now is because his big brother is into it. He want to be just like his big brother. And his big brother know it. He know that. Before I was back in the same house with him, I would show Cameron pictures of his brother. We would get on our knees every night and pray. And when we prayed for the family, we made sure we prayed for his brother and his brother daddy. Because I pray for my kids and their dads. Right? So for me to hear, for that to come up and for me to hear that, it'll probably make more sense when I talk more about it, y'all. I'm just doing this video because I always put this off. I never talk about it. I never talk about it. And I need to. I want to. I want to. I want to talk about it for real. I don't want to do fake vlogs and make it seem like I'm happy and everything's good. No. I want to talk about what's really going on because I know that it's somebody that is going to be able to relate to me and it's going to understand. It might be somebody who might be feeling the same way that I did when I was 17, which is that, you know, I want better for my child. And it's a family member coming to me in a disguise of an angel or a helpmate, like they was gonna help me or being sent to help me, and they really just wanted to take my child in the first place. That's all they ever wanted to do was take him. And when he was 1 week, the person that I'm speaking of, they work in the medical field, right? Which means they're a doctor or a pharmacist or a nurse or something like that. They work in the medical field. So when my son, he was born in October, and it's this thing that babies can get called RSV. What it is it's a respiratory virus. It is basically a cold. Like how we get cold, we might get a cold. A baby, they would call it RSV. And I'll never forget when my son nose was congested, and I called on this person because, for one, they're a close family member. They in the medical field. And when I called and I asked them about it, he said that I'm thinking about taking him to the emergency room because he's congested and he like 2-3 weeks at this time, maybe a week. You know what they said to me? Why don't you just let me adopt them? That's what they said. And I hung up in her face. I hung up in her face. And I feel like ever since that day, they've been playing long ball with me. And they decided that they was gonna make my life hard enough to the point where I had no choice. They was gonna, I feel like from that day when they tried to drop their seed in my life, I feel like when I hung up in their face, they decided that they was gonna slow walk me to losing my relationship with my firstborn son, my king, my baby, bro. And I'm making this video. I'm not crying on camera, so I'm sorry, y'all. Gotta get off camera. But I'm making this video because if anything happened to me, I want my kids to know the truth from me. Because I got people in my family that believe if they say a lie over and over and over and over and over that it will become the truth, bro. It's people in this world who really believe that. And I can't stand it. And I can't stand it. It's certain family members that I don't go around because I know they don't know who I am for real. Because I know that they only heard about me through somebody that don't like me or through somebody that makes me want that want to make me look bad, to somebody that want the optics to look a certain way. I'm talking about this person didn't even want to meet and want nobody else to help me. Because if they was the only person helping me, then I would be at their mercy. I was at their mercy, bro. I was. I was at their mercy. I was at their mercy. And because I keep Cameron away, now they want to try to say that I love Cameron more. And then the thing about it is, y'all, what make it even more fucked up, is because they said it's because Cameron hair like mine and RJ hair is not. That shit sent me through the fucking roof, bro. Because if I cared about color, if I cared about hair, if I cared about complexion, then I would have picked a different dad. But I don't care about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? People in a certain generation are colorist as fuck. People in a certain generation care about features and shit. Care about what a baby hair look like and shit like that. I don't do that. I look at my kids because they are amazing, my nigga. They are amazing, bro. And my oldest son, bro, he just like me. He just like me. That's why I want to make sure that I leave this video for him too. Because I know he gonna have to go against everybody that I had to go up against. I know he is. He used to tell me that they would be like, "Oh, RJ, stop! You acting like your mama," or "Shut up! You acting like your mama." And he would be like, "I know I'm acting like my mama because that's my mama." So for them to be irritated when he do things that remind them of me says a whole lot of things to me. It say a whole lot. And now he, you know what I'm saying, he 14, he older. And the things that he going through, the growing pains and everything that he going through in life, I know he gonna get through them. But I know that it's people that don't want him to get through it because he is is with me, because he don't want to be with the person who tried to take it from me all this time. The person who worked the hardest to take him away from me, he don't want nothing to do with them. Nothing. He doing what I should have did when I had him, which is say fuck material things, fuck money, Fuck any of that. That's what I should have did from the beginning, bro. Because another thing I see is when I had cash, I realized that God will give you the tools that you need when you have a baby, whether that's a program, whether that's a housing voucher, whether that's whatever. Whatever it is that you need, you can literally ask God for it, and God will give it to you for your child. Keep your kids close to you. Keep your kids close to you. Because the enemy trying to take them from the time that they born. And I won't let him take mine. I won't let the enemy take mine. And this video is not for no pity or nothing. This video is because I need to start telling my truth and what's really going on with me, bro. I do. I don't know what's gonna happen after this video. I don't care. But I will say this, that no matter what do happen, I'm coming back with another one. I'm coming back to speak more of my truth. And I don't give a fuck about the parts where I was wrong at, because I can own that shit. I can own that shit. But the truth is gonna be out there, because if anything happened to me, if I die today or tomorrow, then my story is gonna be told by motherfuckers that don't like me. My story gonna be told by people who didn't like me, and my kids not gonna see the truth. And that's all I want. I want my kids to know my heart. I want my kids to know the truth. I want them to know the truth about their mama. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my story to be told by a motherfucker that never liked me. They tried to take away every connection that me and my child had, y'all. They slowly tried to rip it away in different ways. They slowly tried to do that. And that same person that was doing all of that evil, underhanded shit, you can't pay my son to go around them. You can't pay my son to take nothing from them. And that was something that I didn't even have to do. The same way that they wanted to make my baby treat me, the same hatred that they wanted him to have toward me, it backfired on them. It backfired on them. Man, they saw fall in the same pit that they dug for my destruction. Man, they fall in the same pit that they dug for my destruction. I know this is a little bit unhinged and it's a little bit crazy, but y'all gonna get to see that that's just how I am. That's just how I am. Thank you, Australia. Thank you, T, for coming through on this video. I'm gonna watch this video back, and I hope that, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to delete it. I really don't. I want to keep it up. I really do, because I'm not going to delete it, because I want my kids to know the truth no matter what. If I don't wake up in the morning, they will have this. They will have this video. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm not going to wake up, but what I'm saying is that I'm going to use this platform to speak my truth. I'm going to use this platform to say the things that I always wanted to say that I've been afraid to say. I got one of them families to where they love the optics and they love the way that things look, right? So things like addiction, things that I talk about, they'll never speak about. They'll never speak about. If they ever went through it or anything, they'll never speak about it. I've been the black sheep all my life. All my life. And before I go, I don't want the video to just all be sad. I do also want to say some positive things before I end this video, which is the fact that I'm glad that me and my son relationship is untouched, that me and my son still got our bond, we still got our love. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that Cameron, daddy, is in his life so that I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, go through them same issues. I'm thankful that I see the truth. And I'm going to use my pain and use the things that I've been through to not just talk about it on here, but to help other women. That's what a part of the thing that my foundation is going to do. When I start my foundation, y'all, I'm not only going to start my business, but I'm also going to start a 501c3 because I want to help women. Because, you know, all I needed was a little bit of help. That's all I needed, was just a little bit of help. But the only way that I could get that help is if I gave up my parental rights and stuff. Like if I just laid down and cooperated with whatever they did, that's what I had to do in order to get the things that I needed for my child. Basic necessities at that. And I'm gonna pray myself up out of every situation that I'm in that I don't like. I'm not only gonna pray myself out of it. I'm not one of them people who believe that if you just sit and pray and don't move, don't do nothing, don't do no action toward it, that something gonna happen. That's insane. I'm one of them people that when I say pray, not only do I pray to God, but I'm gonna speak it into my life. I'm gonna speak it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put action behind it because it's a generational cycle that's in my family that I have to break. If I have to break it so that it does not affect my kids, is what I'm trying to say. I got to do the work for the people that's older than me that's still walking this earth, and I got to do the work for my ancestors so that I can stop this generational cycle, bro. Cause this shit hurt like hell. It do. Because no, even though my son don't feel that way, and he tell me, "Mom, I don't feel like that." Like, don't listen to them. They keep speaking it. They keep trying to speak it into the air, bro. And I know how powerful words are. I understand when God gave us the breath of life, the very breath that we use to speak those words, our tongue. I understand how powerful that is. And it's people in my family that will tell a lie 100 times so that it becomes the truth. And I'm not going for it. I'm not laying down no more. I'm not was messed up with them with how they tried to rip my child from me. And look at God, the same person who tried to rip my child from me. My son don't want nothing to do with you. I just had to let that out, bro. And it's gonna be other times that I'm gonna have to let stuff out too. Thank you, Miss T, for commenting. Thank you, Yushraya. And I appreciate anybody that's watching this video. I appreciate you. And I'm gonna be vlogging. I'm gonna be talking about my life. So if you like think that, oh, this is crazy, whatever, this is what it is. This is just me. And I'm just telling my truth. And I'm gonna I'm gonna tell more truths in the future. I'm not gonna shut up because I've been silenced for 30 years. I have not been able to talk about my truth for 30 years. And them days are over. I'm grown now. It's my due season. I went through enough suffering as a child. Now it's the time where I'm supposed to reap, and I understand that, and I'm gonna do the work so that I can do that. Y'all have a good night, and now I'm gonna be able to sleep. Now I'm gonna be able to sleep better because I finally did what I've been wanting to do. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.